There's Dr. Steve. I wanted to take a bit of time today to discuss appreciation and mental health because I work with a lot of people as a mentor and coach, and originally trained as a chiropractor. I have some really neat insights into how the body responds to different thought processes and different patterns of thinking. And I'll tell you this that what I've definitely noticed when I started out in my career in chiropractic, and I would work with people and adjust the spine and help them to get breath moving through their spine and a sense of ease through their body. Um, Things would happen like very quickly. Like the body's very, it takes instructions relatively well, and it can kind of move energy and breath relatively easily. If you work with it properly, you can connect the brain to different areas and tensions of the body and restrictions and tightness, and it's willing to release those things. It doesn't have like a thing that says like I don't want to breathe deeper, I don't want to release tension. Like it doesn't have those types of instructions. It either this body either holds tension and contracts or it allows it to let go. And basically, your body, I would say, in a very generalized way, is an accumulation over time of the degree in which it released or held on to tension. And you're left with certain postures that kind of resemble that. Now, that being said, since the body is interested in being vital and being optimal, because essentially that's a strategy and very useful for survival, which the body wants. It wants to have you survive in the environment. So, because it wants energy and it wants to be efficient to survive in the world, that when things are going awry, it's really important to keep in consideration your psychological state, how you're viewing people, your environment, your reality, yourself. It's whoever the self is, but it's important to kind of track that. And so I kind of talk with people about three major pillars of appreciation because anything that we depreciate means it basically goes down in value in our mind. And when something goes down in value, then it essentially depreciates and it depresses and it pushes tension and binds tension up. And anytime you appreciate something and you value something, it lifts you and opens up the energy. And the system is a more resilient and resourceful state when we're appreciating things. Now, the reason I wanted to mention that as a basic framework is that your body wants you to thrive because it gives you a strategic advantage in survival. So it wants you to thrive because if it senses that you are thriving, it will release tension, it'll stay poised, it'll stay strong and vital if it feels like you are thriving in the environment, because thriving means you're going to stay alive. And that's part of the game of the body, is to stay alive, just like an animal. When we start to depreciate things and lower our value around the three pillars of self, other, and circumstance, self, other, and circumstances, things that happen, people that are in our life, and ourselves, things that happen in our day to day, our life, people, ourselves. When we start to depreciate those and they drop in value, the body starts to build tension because it doesn't feel supported, it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel relaxed, it doesn't feel abundant, it doesn't feel, it feels like it's got to fight against these things. And so it sets up adrenaline and stress hormones and tensions because it's got to combat things that it doesn't value. And because those are inherently seen as a threat. So the key towards appreciating things in your environment regularly that I posted is that it not only uplifts the energy, but it lightens the whole energy and it allows the system to feel as a baseline, feels safe, feels supported in the environment. It feels supported around other people. It feels like it can trust yourself as you build appreciation for yourself and value yourself. As you value yourself more, you're willing to put yourself out into the world. As you value other people, you're willing to receive and reciprocate that and be around people and receive their value. As you identify things and circumstances in your environment and you appreciate those, whether they're past or present, if they're past, you could build trust for the future by appreciating events and circumstances that happened. If they're current, your body will feel safe in the space in which it's in because it feels like there's value there. So, a lot of the physiology, the biology, our body, and psychology, if we put a single point of focus on appreciation, it will mitigate 80% of the mental health issues because mental health issues, I'm not talking about deep levels of schizophrenia and wild amounts of bipolar. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about just our general mental health on a day-to-day basis. Um, Things that aren't appreciated, things that are not dealt with and looked at through the lens of appreciation over time will build baggage in the psychology and the body. And they're inseparable. So it's the same thing. So they'll build, and they'll store, and they'll slow your system down, and they'll slow the speed, and they'll create density, and they'll create contraction, and they'll create a heaviness in there. And appreciation is a gateway through. So I wanted to encourage you today just about considering that something very simple is like a beeline for appreciation and just asking yourself the question, how does this person, my actions, or the circumstances, one of the three, how does the circumstances, the situation, what happened, how does the person, the individual, or does my actions serve a value to me? And start stacking the benefits of that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 benefits, values to you in which these particular situations are serving you in your life. If you do that, you're going to ramp up your energy. You're going to lighten the body. You're going to be more clear-minded. You're going to have better access to your intuition. And it is a problem solver for many people that get hooked up in the physical tension, dis-ease game, or the psychology where they feel like they're anxious, they're not right, they're feeling off, they're feeling exhausted or lethargic or unmotivated. It's a gateway, it's a portal to access higher states of awareness and higher functionality for you. Health is such a cornerstone in our world, in our community, in our families. If we're not paying attention to what actually creates health psychologically, it's appreciation. That's the cornerstone. And as you do that, you're making sense of things. As you make more sense of things, you're appreciating things more. So appreciation is a cornerstone of psychological precision and mental well-being. That something actually has been digested and looked at deeply so that you could appreciate the sacredness of it in your life, of that person, of your behavior, or of the circumstances. So if you have any questions, put them below the video. But this is essentially, to me, the one thing. If you're to pick the one thing that I would, really lean into is appreciation for self, other, and circumstances, and let that ride for a while. So have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you soon.